Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you, coming at you with our Season 31 deck profile for Horus Naturia. This has actually quickly become one of my favorite decks to ladder with, because I think it's really fun, it's good, and it's also pretty easy to play. So this is a deck that you've probably seen before on ladder. You probably saw it a little bit before, or a little bit more, when Calamity was still legal, as this deck was pretty infamous for being able to turbo out Calamity, or just level 12 synchros in general, right? But more than that, I think that the deck is also just really good at playing a sort of, just a good combo game, honestly. I was gonna call it combo control, but it really is a combo deck when you, get right down to it. Excuse me there. Ooh, sorry. But yeah, no. So for those who are not familiar with this deck at all, basically the idea here is that in a perfect hand, you want to open not only a way to start off your Horus engine, could be Mseti, could be the field spell, could be the King Sark, but also a way to kick off your Naturia engine, which is of course going to be Mole Cricket. You could open Camellia, because Camellia is really the main thing we need for a Naturia package. Also, opening Naturia Sacred Tree, not even bad to do in this deck. In fact, I quite like opening Naturia Sacred Tree alongside any of these other three cards, but especially the Mseti, because if you pitch Mseti and Sacred Tree for Mseti's effect, you not only search the King Sark and draw a card, but in the Sacred Tree, it doesn't care how it goes to the graveyard, right? To activate its effect, it can be sent as a cost, meaning it can then add you your Naturia cards as well. The goal of all this is to get some level 12 synchro monsters on the field by using level 4 Tuner Camellia plus your level 8 Horus monsters, right? The first one typically you want to make is Crimson Dragon, because that adds Synchro Rumble, which can potentially help revive your Camellia. Just be careful that if you do activate Synchro Rumble, you can only Synchro for the rest of the turn. So you can't go into one of like your rank gates or into like an SP or an IP if you wanted to after you activate Synchro Rumble. But anyway, like I said, a lot of the time you're going to want to first summon Crimson Dragon, right? Then Brave Musarao, then Crimson Dragon effect to put itself back in the extra to summon Blazar Dragon. But the thing is, you know, because Camellia can also send a tree to add a Blessing, if you have Blessing plus Rumble, both of which you naturally get in the combo line, you can make a third level 12 synchro, bringing the Crimson Dragon out yet again, and then summoning the Supernova. Wanted to just quickly go over how the deck works, because when I was playing this deck on stream, I did get quite a few questions about it. Also, I know this is going to be in the title and thumbnail, but I hit an 11 game win streak with this deck as my first 11 games of the season. I loaded this deck up and immediately shot from Diamond 5 to Diamond 3, almost Diamond 2, in one sitting, in one go, right? So this deck is very, very potent. I'm really surprised to see it has as low of a win rate on Untapped as it does. That kind of baffles me because, like I said, I think this deck is good, and I don't know. I don't want to sound reductive or anything to anyone who might have trouble with this deck. I don't think it's terribly difficult. I think the main thing you need to watch out for is that you're going for Crimson Dragon first to get the Synchro Rumble, because I've had situations like when I was first playing this deck where like I make Brave Musarao first and then I realize, oh wait, now I have to use the Blessing, and then yeah, I can make Crimson Dragon and go for Rumble then, but then I'll be synchro locked, or sometimes you just don't have enough materials. So again, I generally prefer going for Crimson Dragon first. Let's see, main deck, I actually don't think I was on Gamma last time. Gamma's not a card I like in most quote-unquote typical decks. Like, for example, I tried playing Gamma in Fire King Snake Eye recently and just hated it. I just absolutely loathed it. In a deck like this, however, we have so many effects that are resolving without a monster on the field. The Walls of the Imperial Tomb Search, the Mseti effect's pretty important. King Sark F, Mole Cricket F when it tributes itself, right? So because of all of that, I think it's very, very worth it to have Gamma. And Gamma came in clutch for a lot of these games that we're going to see here. Baron de Fleur might look a little weird. You might wonder how exactly we're supposed to sync for 10 in this deck, but it's actually Gamma plus, and I was going to say Mseti, but a Horus monster, really, right? If you Gamma during your turn, basically you can turn the 4th Horus body, because you only need 3 to do your full main combo line. But with Gamma during your turn, you can turn the 4th Horus name into the Baron de Fleur. You could also potentially link away Driver for the IP as well. So that is another thing that could come up pretty easily too. As far as what I took out of the extra deck for the Baron de Fleur, I also put in the Gurnix Eternity just to try it out. Because, fun fact, this effect right here won't actually destroy your other Horus monsters on the field as long as you've got King Sark because of the first effect of King Sark. So, Gurnix Eternity not only just a good rank 8, but also has synergy with the Horus archetype. It didn't come up, I didn't end up summoning it, I don't think, at all. But I thought it was a nice option to have in the extra deck. But as far as Naturia cards, you might have noticed that I took out Naturia Barkion from the extra deck. I was playing this before, but I gotta be honest with you, I never once made this card. The only real way to make this card is like Camellia plus Sunflower. You could normal summon a Maxi, but it's like, this is just hyper-specific situation to be in. We have access to Camellia, want to out a bunch of trap cards, and are able to normal summon a Maxi. More often, you would go into it with Camellia plus Sunflower, but again, it's like, outside of maybe exactly Labyrinth, I can't imagine any matchup where I would want Barkion more than Camellia plus Sunflower, so usually if I summon these two out, I just leave them by themselves, so that's why I did ultimately cut the Barkion from the extra deck. Nappies does come up pretty occasionally, so I still want to keep this in. It's not like you're going to go for this all the time, but it definitely comes up a lot more than Barkion ever did, that's for sure. Alright, is there anything else I want to say about the list before we dive into some gameplay here? Oh, actually, we might see this duel. I actually don't remember if I saved it or not, but another way you can make Baron, fun fact, although this is a pretty specific hand that requires a setup, you can actually sync Camellia plus Beast plus Mole Cricket. And then, if you have an extra blessing, you can just use the blessing effect to bring back the Beast and end on Beast plus Baron. So that's something that I actually did in one of my games, but again, it requires a fairly specific kind of hand to be able to pull that off. So, oh, I guess Foolish Burial Goods is also another new addition to the main deck. I kind of can't believe I didn't think of it before, but yeah, you can just bin the tree, and it's another starter to get into an Naturia package. Kind of similar to Zombie Vamp, although Zombie Vamp can, of course, find a Camellia or a Mole Cricket to just summon, or an opponent's card, too. But anyway. Alright, yeah, let's just break this list down card by card, and then we'll take a look at those duels. We're on 1 Cypherine Driver, 3 Naturia Mole Cricket, 1 Naturia Sunflower, 3 Maxi, 2 Cypherine Gear Gamma, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Naturia Camellia, 3 Imseti, Glory of Horus, 1 Dumatef, Blessing of Horus, 1 Hoppy, Guidance of Horus, 1 Kibesnif, Protection of Horus, 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being, 1 Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Synchro Rumble. We got 3 Walls of the Imperial Tomb, we got 3 King's Sarcophagus, 2 Called by the Grave, 3 Naturia Blessing, 3 Infinite Permanents, and then 3 Naturia Sacred Tree for our 42 card main deck. And then for the extra, we're on 1 Naturia Beast, 1 Cypherine Lord Omega, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Cosmic Blazar Dragon, 1 Red Supernova Dragon, 1 Super Samurai Brave Musaro, Super Heavy Samurai Brave Musaro, 1 Crimson Dragon, 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy, 1 number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, 1 The Zombie Vampire, 1 Gurudix Eternity Hyang of the Fire Kings, 1 Divine Arsenal Ah, Zeus, Sky Thunder, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 SP Little Knight, and then finally 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. There's our list, let's watch some duels. Okay, our first opponent is on Fire King Snake Eye. They're playing a pretty standard list, except they're playing 2 Cosmic Cyclones, which I've spoken my piece about what I think about the card. Again, in this format, it is actually a little better than it's been in the past, but I really think a deck like Fire King Snake Eye has no business playing a card as bad as Cosmic Cyclone. Alright, leading with the King Sark and then normal summoning the Mole Cricket here. I want to normal summon Mole Cricket first because I want to see if it gets Ash Blossomed. Basically, that'll give me more information of how I can play out my turn. Veiler coming down here against the Camellia, but you'll notice I'm not going to even use the Call By against it. Mostly because I already have the Sacred Tree in hand, so I can already search a Blessing here. There's no need to waste the Call By right now. Alright, so Imseti's going to come back, and then I can sync it with Camellia. And we're making the Crimson Dragon. I guess to be fair, I don't really know what I would call by here. I guess I was a little I was thinking there was a chance they could still use a Maxi, right? But I guess the more I think about it, it's not really that great of a chance. Anyway, gonna send and then bring back Hoppy, and then, of course, revive the Camellia with the Blessing for the Brave Musaro. Crimson Dragon F on itself, or on the Musaro, rather, to put itself back. Now making the Blazar. Now that I have an Omni Negate, I'm pretty secure in like the rest of my game plan here. Rumble to bring back the Camellia. Gonna use King Sark to pitch the last card. Do a Tef, and then we're gonna make one more level 12 Synchro. It is in fact gonna be the Crimson Dragon yet again. I used to play Geomathmech Final Sigma as a second level 12. That's just generic like Musaro to go into. But I ended up taking it out because your turn 1 combo line will almost always use pretty much your entire hand, so I really like having the Brave Musaro to be able to refill that. Alright, here's a Cosmic Cyclone doing absolutely nothing except drawing me 3 cards here. Not a good 3 cards to draw, but yeah, it's too late for Cosmic Cyclone and King Sark to matter at this point. Also, Cosmic Cyclone on King Sark doesn't stop any of the Horus monsters from activating their effects, because the card just says, like, they'll just say if a card leaves the field by your opponent's card effect, right? So. Alright, so they triple tack away my Supernova here, but then use it on a Diabellstar. I will say they have done a good job of picking apart my field so far. One thing to note about the Blazar in particular is that when Blazar negates, it will come back during the end phase, which I think is really, really nice, honestly. And it gives you a lot more ability to, like, play through your opponent's stuff. As we can see here, my opponent is definitely playing, like, through my stuff, right? So they're choosing to put my Mole Cricket into the grave, or from the graveyard into the Spell Trap, which is not a horrible idea, honestly. Oh yeah, I guess also, yeah, because the Brave Musaro only has 2100 attack, it would be pretty easy for my Mole Cricket to proc its effects. Bringing back my red Supernova is actually pretty terrifying. It's funny, I think, like, all of those times I've come across super scary situations is when my opponent steals my red Supernova. But then they link it off for Promethean Princess, choosing to keep the Sunlight Wolf, which I thought was a little bit odd. Alright, bringing back the Flamberge, now linking into, looks like this is a Raging Phoenix? Ah, they're going for the Zealantis. Yep, of course. I was trying to think of a situation in which they wouldn't keep my Supernova, but I guess this would be it, wouldn't it? The thing is, though, even if you bring back my Musaro... Alright, let's see how this plays out. I actually don't remember how this game plays out off the top of my head. Yep, so Prom Princess. Wait, I do remember, because now they activate Flamberge, and now I can activate Gamma because I don't have any monsters on the field. It's more than a bit of a shame, actually. I was gonna say it's a bit of a shame. More than a bit that I drew the driver here as well, but... yeah, our board's gonna get popped, but we're not dead. Thankfully, that Gamma did actually manage to come in clutch here. Main phase 2, they're linking off Prom Princess and Zealantis for the Ambluale. That actually makes sense, yeah. Just to get the Prom Princess set up in the yard. But remember that my Blazar comes back, right? Alright, so Camellia here isn't really that great of a top deck, honestly. There's not too much it really allows me to do. Raging Phoenix is going to come back, as well as the Ambluale effect. I'm just going to go ahead and negate the Ambluale effect, honestly, at this point. I didn't really love the idea of battling over Ambluale here because I knew both effects here would proc. Actually, I was a little lucky that they did it in the order they did, because if I had negated Raging Phoenix, I think that Prom Princess coming down would have been a lot scarier. I decided to summon my Camellia and just, like, do a little bit of deck thinning, just get the Mole Cricket in the yard and main phase 2. I should have... oh, but the Raging Phoenix is going to come back, so that's why we didn't summon it before the battle phase. Right. So we used the Blazar there. I kind of glossed over that, but Blazar does not just negate monster effects, it can negate summons or also attacks and end the battle phase. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about just throwing out the Camellia here in attack mode. I knew I could use Blazar to stop the battle, so we're good there. Looks like they're going to normal summon Poplar. When they do that, I get to bring back the Mole Cricket. They're going to use the Prom Princess here, but I still get to use Mole Cricket because my opponent, by far with that 5400 Phoenix, has the monster with the highest attack. Now Sunflower plus Camellia is online, which is really, really good. Now we can get multiple monster negates and destroys. I'm not going to do it on Flamberge, obviously I don't care about that. Or I mean Poplar putting Flamberge in the spell trap. Very glad I set up that Mole Cricket in the yard of the Camellia. Actually, extremely glad I did. Get to get a blessing here. I'm absolutely going to Sunflower this Prom Princess and pop that, not have to deal with her. And that'll probably be the end of what my opponent's able to do here. They already used the OSS. Oh, they're going to try to do the Anvil Whale effect. I'm actually going to let that go through and just keep the Sunflower on the field, rather than tributing both of them, right? It just doesn't make sense. Alright, we have another Imseti alongside the Sacred Tree, so that's really, really good, of course. Getting the Camellia back online, now we can negate monster effects again, and they're just going to concede as soon as we Imseti pitch Sacred Tree. Because now we can just start bringing our Horus monsters back, so... that Blazar, I'm telling you, Cosmic Blazar Dragon is such a good card. And again, I actually do like the fact that it banishes itself and then comes back during the end phase. Again, for pretty much this whole entire game we just saw, right? That Blazar just was what allowed us to extend into the long game. And yeah, again, Cosmic Cyclone, I'm just not a big fan of it. Like, it stopped me from coming back right away, but I still think that if that Cosmic Cyclone were just about any other piece of gas or extension, my opponent, especially for any other piece of gas, my opponent would have been able to do a lot more, I think, on their first turn than they did. Well, I guess to be fair, they did Zeolitis OTK, but anyway. That's going to do it for the first duel. Let's take a look at the next one. Alright, this opponent is on a 60-card Snake Eye deck, but not just any Snake Eye deck, it's Snake Eye Fluffle. Quite the brew, but unfortunately, from what I recall, I don't think we see a single Fluffle card here. It's going to be all Snake Eye stuff. So if you're hoping to see something kind of cool in that regard, I'm sorry, I don't have too much to offer you. Anyway, they're going to go first here. Magician's Souls pitching the Diabell, or sending the Diabell, rather. Pitching to, I guess I should have guessed from the two polymerizations that something was up, but definitely going to Ash Blossom that Magician's Souls effect. I do not want them drawing two cards here. But it turns out they do still have the Poplar in hand, meaning they're able to go for a pretty much full combo. Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. I saw them pitch two polymerizations and then didn't really think about that for the rest of the game. I just kind of accepted it. I think it's because I saw they were on 60 cards and I was like, alright, they're up to some shenanigans, I'm sure. Anyway, Poplar for the OSS, for the Ash for the Poplar effect is special, and then now they have Snake Eye Ash plus 3 other monsters. It's like there's no way they don't do a full combo here, right? So yep, they're going for the Oak. Looking at my hand here, it's not good. I'm definitely looking for Imseti or Tree, or not Tree, Wall, the field spell, or King Sark. So that's 9 cards. That's a lot of top decks. And that's just for the Horus stuff, right? I can still top deck Mole Cricket, and that'd be fine, or Camellia, that would also be fine. It really would have to be Mole Cricket, I think, because of the Blessing in hand. I guess we have a fair amount of outs here. Yep, opponent just doing full pure Snake Eye board here, going for the Raging Phoenix with a leftover Poplar as well. And a face down card. Gotta have that last set card as well. Alright. And we are just the greatest player in the world, so I just casually peeled Imseti off the top of my deck. My literal best top deck. I'm going to use the Imseti to, of course, pitch it alongside the Tree. We're going to add the King Sark and then draw a Hoppy. I'm actually not upset about that top deck. I'm not upset if I have like a random Horus body in hand, because I can just pitch it for the King Sark. Same is true of Driver, actually. Granted, Driver and a lot of the random Horus monsters and Synchro Rumble are kind of why we play over 40 cards, but... Alright, so we got the Sunflower online before the Prom Princess tries to come down, so I'm going to use that to... I'm going to use the Sunflower to stop that for sure. For sure here. Sacred Tree going to add the Blessing. King Sark F. Opponent's going to activate IP. I'm going to get my second use out of Sunflower here. Tributing it with the Camellia to both negate and destroy the IP. So nice that it negates and destroys. Opponent's pretty much out of interaction now, except for the last face down card, so... Poppy. Gonna bring back Dumatef. Bring back Sunflower yet again before moving to battle. I do want to battle with the Horus monsters. And then we get to use Sunflower again. That's why I brought it back, to stop the Flamberge effect, so. Yeah, I do want to battle with these Horus monsters before I start making stuff. And also, I want to battle over everything except for Raging Phoenix first. Because, of course, if I destroy a fire monster, if I destroy a Raging Phoenix and then battle over a different fire monster, Raging Phoenix just comes back, right? So, I'm going to make the Hope Harbinger, and then I'm going to use my last King Stark effect to get my last Horus name into the graveyard. And then I am going to use that to make the Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. So now we have both a monster negate and a spell negate. Kind of hard to imagine my opponent being able to come back from here. They do have the OSS in the graveyard. And Hope Harbinger can only negate spell effects on the field, right? But before even resolving the OSS, they actually just conceded already. Because to be fair, like, Oak and Ash are already in the graveyard. Like, what would you even search here? 1. 2, even if you did search something, like if you played a second Oak and then summoned it, I could just Photon Lord that. And then if you have any follow-up or like something like a Subversion to try to stop me from using my negates, then I can just Hope Harbinger that. So... yeah, just want to show that's actually like not too atypical for a going second game. That's the thing about this deck, right? It plays rather differently going first or second. Going first, of course, you're trying to turbo out all those level 12 synchros, but when I go second, I kind of just forget about the level, not completely, of course, but I don't focus on summoning level 12 synchros. Going second means we have the battle phase. It means that our Horus monsters often by themselves are enough to just push through any board our opponent has. But then, again, you throw in the Naturias into that mix, and especially using Sunflower. Like, we got so many good uses. We activated Sunflower 3 times during our turn against the opponent's board here, which is pretty sweet. All right, I think we have time for one more duel, so let's finish off with that one. Alright, let's just finish off with another game against Fire King Snake Eye. Let's just have this whole deck profile be this deck beating up Snake Eye, why not? Yeah, again, I am surprised and honestly kind of shocked. On Untapped, even if you filter for Diamond and Master, this deck has an under 50% win rate. And I really struggle to see that. How the deck could be performing that poorly, because Again, I think the deck is very streamlined, and I think it's also very good. I think it's very potent at what it does. Alright, here we're going to get Max Seed in response to the Imseti. Drawing that Sacred Tree is actually super good. Going to send the tree to send a Dumatef, and then we get to add a Blessing. I'm just going to normal summon Molker, get set Blessing, and pass, though. I'm not going to play into this Max Seed at all. Alright, opponent's going for the Imperm on the Mole Cricket. We can, of course, just chain the Mole Cricket. This makes sense for the opponent to do, as well. It definitely shows that they are conscious of the fact that, you know, if they waited until I summoned anything, or they summoned anything, well, 1, they couldn't Imperm. But 2, I'd also get 2 Mole Cricket searches. Alright. Here's the island, popping a Droll and Mockbird from the hand. That card's becoming a lot more common in the meta. I've run into a lot of Drolls already this season. Alright, so Ponix effect activating here. I'm going to bring back the Mole Cricket with Camellia's effect. Now, with the set Blessing, which I think I actually do flip up here, yep, because they added Skyburn, I can actually threaten to make the Naturia Beast here. And by selecting that effect, I actually bait out the Skyburn, causing them to pop the Camellia, which is good for me, honestly. Alright, opponent's going to triple attack and take the Mole Cricket. As soon as they have it on their field, I'm going to immediately Max C, because I know they're either going to have to make Leak Karibo, or if they don't want to give me a draw, they have to give me my Mole Cricket back. And either way, I'll take a draw or my Mole Cricket back. Also, once Leak Karibo is summoned, I get to just bring back the Mole Cricket anyway. And upon realizing that is when my opponent concedes. I do wonder what their last card in hand was. Like, I remember trying to figure out after the actual game played out here, I was like, what were they trying to do with my Mole Cricket? I bet... Well, they already normal summoned Ponix, though, right? What extender would they have had in hand to be able to keep playing? Maybe a Diabell? Maybe they didn't want to play under the Maxi. Could have been that. Because I'm thinking, like, okay, they could have maybe summoned another monster, gone for Dark, taken my Imseti, and then gone for the Promethean Princess, but They already used their normal summon on Ponix? No, they used original. I don't remember what they did. Actually, I'll get a look here. But I'm fairly certain they normal summoned to Ponix, did they not? No, it summoned off its own effect. No, it didn't, because Droll Mock Protoss popped. That was a red. Okay, so they did just normal summon this. Okay, yeah, so. I don't think even if they had a card, like another card to play as their last card, it probably would have been Diabell. Otherwise, why wouldn't you draw two? I guess what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if your last card wasn't, like, Diabell, or some other extender I'm not thinking of, like, why would you take my Molcricket instead of drawing two? Just to link it off? But then, I mean, they just didn't realize that Molcricket would come right back to my field if they make League Grebo. I don't know. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Thank you, fine folks, for watching it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and move to the outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.